What's up, Soul Family? Coming at you with another collective reading. This one's gonna be on Target, which is somebody who's a goal-oriented person. So I feel like this reading's already gonna be for somebody who has like a lot of goals set. And this might sound really mundane, but we have to keep in mind not everybody has ambition. Not everybody wants to do or accomplish a lot of things, and that's perfectly fine. Not everybody has to do that, but this is for somebody who definitely has a lot of ambition and is trying to set a lot of goals and work towards them actively, I'd like to believe. So, that being said, if you're interested in a one-on-one reading, you can directly message me, or you can do so at the link in the bio. The first reading is $35 for up to 20 minutes, and you can ask whatever questions you want, or I can simply pull and see what comes out. That being said, let's jump right in. So then we have Success, January, so maybe there's going to be like January and July, and then Apple, with Temptation Will Test You. So maybe you're going to be hitting major milestones in both January and July over the next year. I'm guessing because, July just passed, so it has to be sometimes. Or maybe it could even be that you started something in the past July, and then from July to January, you're going to be seeing growth or seeing some kinds of movement within like whatever you started. And then the Success card already makes me believe that it's going to work out for you. And sometimes we do embark on things and it doesn't work out the way you want it to. Sometimes it simply does. So maybe you're somebody who has a really good way of working towards and executing your goals, and that's what's allowing you to have the success. So normally I don't do this. I think there's like a card from another deck. Oh, two cards from another deck in here. Not intentional, but you know what? Let's see what they are. Then we have the Three of Wands, which is about manifestation and working towards something that we are trying to bring in, and the Strength card. So I'd like to think that this is something that you've been working towards for a while. It's something that you've been trying to pull into this physical realm, and it's like requiring like a lot of inner strength and resilience and a lot of being able to kind of hold an intention a long time. And sometimes it's like the image in my head I'm getting at, it's kind of like similar to him, like where he's trying to like keep the jaws of the lion's mouth open. It reminds me of like when somebody's like holding something up that's like really heavy and it's like causing all this strain on them. So I feel like this is something that maybe you've been working towards, or you're moving towards, or maybe it's an intention overall that you're trying to accomplish that has been difficult to maybe maintain your focus and attention or intention towards like whatever you're trying to bring in. So I think you're being called to continue to move towards like whatever goal it is, and continue to lay each brick down, continue to take steps needed to bring whatever you want in this physical realm. Let's flip over like half the deck. So then we have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Cups. So I think this is something that maybe you feel at a really deep level, something you feel really connected to, and you actually have like a purpose behind doing it. Like many times when people have undergone something very difficult or challenging, many times one of the ways that they gain strength back from that experience is then by advocating against it, or by doing something to either help prevent it or help resolve the issues or aid people who might have gone through something similar. So maybe with the Queen of Cups, it's something that you hold to be really close to you. It's something that you actually feel very connected to. And with the Knight of Swords, I feel like maybe it's something that you are trying to maybe convey. Like maybe there's information you're trying to convey. Maybe there's knowledge. Maybe there are parts of you or something along the lines of like where you're trying to bring a message or share it to people. So maybe like this message is connected to who you are in some way. And I think that's part of the human experience. And that's how people kind of know when they can kind of trust you. I wouldn't say trust you, but so, like, you can tell when somebody's passionate about something. You can tell when somebody actually puts intention, effort, and care behind what they're creating. So I think it's one of those things like where if you show up the way that you need to, people will be able to tell your authenticity and like how genuinely connected to the cause or the project or whatever work you're doing. And I think that will be one of the things that help people connect to you. So then we have the Ten of Swords. So I think this is something that maybe you're advocating for something like really difficult. Maybe you're trying to create some kind of relief for victims of something that might be painful or hard or something along those lines. But I'd like to think that you're somebody who is advocating for something in some capacity that might not necessarily be, holding the most fun things. Sometimes we go through really traumatic experiences and they can really shape us, and they can either sometimes we can succumb under the pressure, and sometimes it can break us, because I mean, sometimes these things are just too much for us to undergo. But there are times where we are able to alchemize and change the narrative and help other people. So I think this is something along the lines of, maybe this is something that would have killed most people, and you're trying to now become somebody who is advocating against it, or giving knowledge or awareness or something along those lines. So I'll pull like, oh, I was gonna say I'll pull one more card, but it flipped over. And then Ten of Wands. Yeah, so funny enough, like as I was saying the last thing, I was thinking of the Ten of Wands energy, like where it's like there's just the weight of like whatever this is that could be like on your shoulder, or the experience. Sometimes experiences that we have, it could be something that's almost burdensome. It's like we're almost like buried under like a giant pile of weights. So I'd like to think that whatever this is, it's not something that's light. It's not something that is just, some kind of trivial little goal or intention that you have, but something that's actually, worth the effort, worth the struggle, worth all the actions that you're taking to get to the point in which whatever this is able to be experienced in the way that you want it to. I'm going to pull one more card, and then I'll do the bottom of the deck. Then we have the Six of Swords. I feel like, so we definitely have the energy of Six of Swords and Seven of Cups. So this energy is the energy of like, you're heading out of the not so pleasant times. You're shifting out of this frequency. You're shifting out of all the struggles, all the trials, all the tribulations, and you're heading into something better. And maybe with the Seven of Cups, you're now, especially because it's a reading about somebody who's goal-oriented, and it says your success is guaranteed. So many times, the analogy I like to give when I think about the Seven of Cups and having different opportunities that are reflective of where you are, it's like when many times after you set the foundation and after you become a person, the opportunities you get are directly correlated many times to the value that you might bring, or the knowledge, or where you are in your experience. For instance, celebrities are going to have lots of opportunities for things in media where they're able to then, use their voice or use their platform, because people are going to want to buy whatever product or rally behind whatever cause as a result of this specific person who is behind it. So, and granted, average everyday people can get the opportunity to do commercials and stuff like that. But what I'm getting at is, when you put yourself in that position, when you set a foundation, when you put yourself and you set yourself up to then be able to even access these things, that is the Seven of Cups energy sometimes, like where we have all these different options because we set ourselves up to be able to capitalize on those things. So I think whoever you are very capable. You have lots of different opportunities ahead of you, and I don't think it's going to be like, obviously you don't necessarily just want to pick like any, sometimes opportunities that we have presented to us are not the best, but there are times where we simply have a lot of really good options to choose from because we have set ourselves up to be in that position. Like if, Adele wanted to do a commercial for either Nike or Adidas, you know what I mean? Like either one is going to be pretty much the exact same thing. It's just a matter of which brand you're choosing behind at that point. So I think it's important to keep in mind that sometimes not one choice is better than the other. It's just a matter of making a choice and then going down that timeline. So that being said, peace and blessings, you guys, and I'll catch you in the next reading.